Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Empowering Industry Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Matthews. And wow, do I have some fun for you today. I have been working with, this lead up to IMTS and this crew that I'm going to introduce you to, or I'm going to let them introduce themselves, of influencers that's going to be there with me at the IMTS Plus Creators Lounge. And so we're going to get all into that. If you haven't heard about it, check out the other podcasts we've released. But let's start by introducing these amazing influencers to you. And I'm going to start with Megan. Always, Megan, you're going to go first. So when you're with me, you just know that's happening. Tell everybody who you are and kind of how you got into the industry.
Yeah, so my name is Megan Zimba, and I'm a technical writer by trade. I've been writing for industrial manufacturing since 2008. And on the side, I do a bunch of other things. I own my own company called Z Inc. Solutions, and I host a really cool series called Mavens of Manufacturing, which highlights all of the amazing women within the sector from the shop floor all the way to the C-suite. And it just provides them a microphone to share all the cool things that they're doing. And then I recently took on a position as Chief Marketing Officer for a company called 38th Street. So we're helping manufacturers discover what their brand narrative is and get their news out there for some of the cool things that they're doing. So really exciting stuff.
Thanks, Megan. James, you want to go next?
Hey, I'm James Soto. I'm the founder and CEO of Industrial Strength Marketing. I am so happy to be here with you all. I've worked my way up, through college on the manufacturing floor. My sister is an industrial engineer. I led one of the biggest industrial digital search firms since their transformation from print to digital and created Industrial Strength Marketing. It's now a family of brands. It has a podcast. It has a YouTube channel. And we're really, really proud to be partnering Industrial, our team, with AMT to bring together the IMTS Plus Creators Lounge. So we're here to help folks overall, help people, be better for having known and worked with us, be better marketers and sellers of industrial products and services. And, we get out there in the industry, we live and work where everybody else does here. So we're glad to be here, and we're glad to have this great team and be part of it.
Yeah. And James, before you move on, would you just tell everybody a little bit more about AMT?
Yeah, sure. AMT, the Association for Manufacturing Technology, they are iconic, decades-old organization that's been focused on bringing together the best of manufacturing technology. And this year, they're hosting their biennial IMTS Plus event, the International Manufacturing Technology Show, for those of you that are not familiar. And this is all about digital manufacturing implemented. It's not about theory. It's about actually seeing the future of manufacturing there. And we're partnering with them to bring the IMTS Plus Creators Lounge to really connect a community of original content creators, manufacturing content creators. And that's our role. And we're launching Industrial Studios, our team that's producing this event, but it's all about bringing together everyone who's listening here. If you're a creator, this is about you. And this is why this team's here.
Yeah, this is awesome. So, okay, let's go to Mitch Freed next. Go ahead.
Hi there, I'm Mitch Freed, and I began my career. Sorry, that phone's ringing. I began my career as a CNC machinist, and spent 6 years going through an apprenticeship program. Worked in the airline for a number of years, airline industry, making reverse engineering, making parts for aircraft. Then I went into the CAD business as a reseller of CAD and CAM software and 3D printers. Then I started MFG.com, an online marketplace for the manufacturing industry. I sold that business and started two businesses simultaneously. Fast Radius, which is a large global 3D printing business. And I also started Ziki, which I run and own now. And we're a aerospace, CNC machining and manufacturing business. And we make components for rockets, satellites, missiles, things like that. So I've been in manufacturing my entire career, and it's more than a passion.
Yes, I love it. Okay, Fabian, tell everybody about yourself.
Sure, yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is Fabian Allefeldt. I am also in the 3D printing industry, just like Mitch, and I work for a company called EOS. If you haven't heard about EOS is the global leader in industrial additive manufacturing or 3D printing. So yeah, we build big 3D printers that prints everything from rocket engines to tiny medical implants that go into human bodies. And since that's a quite complex technology and people are still trying to wrap their head around it, I run our consulting and education teams within the organization that we call Additive Minds, which, yeah, in the end helps organizations and teams and people to really understand, how do I approach additive manufacturing? How do I incorporate it into my technology? And since education is such an important piece of manufacturing and of additive manufacturing, I also run a podcast called Additive Snack. And here we interview leaders and super cool people of the additive manufacturing industry. And we try to pull their unique experience out of their heads and wrap it in, podcast episodes.
It's so great. And I think it's just wonderful, the collection of people that we have here, as far as these influencers bringing in other creatives. It's so much fun. So y'all all know Scott already because we sent out his interview. I think it was a couple of weeks ago now, Scott. But for those who didn't catch it, let's go ahead and introduce yourself to the group, the new visitors, probably your audience that are coming here. I'd love to hear more about you and kind of
Sure.
how you got in the industry.
Yeah, this is exciting. By the way, if you're looking out on the video right now, it looks like the manufacturing Brady Bunch.
Yes.
The way everything is all sort of checkerboarded. It's a lot of fun. And I love the conversations that are taking place. Again, we're going to be at that IMTS Plus Creators Lounge at that event, sharing the content, creating the content, and just enjoying the fact that a lot of the information that is happening, a lot of the news that's happening out there in manufacturing is if you geek out on this stuff, this is definitely the place for you and what's going to be generated from there. But the way I started was just I started podcasting as a marketing platform for another company, for my company, not another company. It was another company, but now it's and it's just turned into a platform where you bring out that human element in each of these stories. I mean, it's just great. It's I got the manufacturing, all that's all wonderful, but what's that human element? What's that story? What's that entertaining component? And people are just trying to help people succeed. And so that's sort of the premise behind Industrial Talk. And by the way, if you're out on Industrial Talk, you're going to get to hear Megan's interview that I did a number of months ago. And she knocks it out of the park. She's pretty stellar.
For sure. And then what you need to do is subscribe to all of these podcasts so you don't miss any of this great content. Because I know the people that are going to tune into this are super passionate about manufacturing. Either they're working in it or they're a creator who loves the content and is passionate like we are of sharing other people's stories. I think that entertainer part, Scott, I don't know, in all these different social media post, I'm always like, and the entertainer, Scott. And it's because I enjoy that part of what we're doing. It helps people to really remember it. That's how your brain works. Tell a story and you can remember it. And I think that element of entertainment, if you think about it like that, it can be fun. And that's what I'm really excited about for this IMTS Plus Creators Lounge. Is it is going to be fun. We're going to take a trade show experience and crank it up a bit. So I was just curious from you, and I'm just going to kind of open the floor and y'all can kind of jump in. What are y'all excited about other than what I just stated, obviously? But I know everybody's kind of got their own group of people that they're bringing. Just tell us a little bit about what you're excited about.
Well, I'll start. I'm actually looking for a number of things for my business as far as, what you can discover on that show floor in such a short amount of time is pretty incredible. I mean, we're looking for tool crib solutions. We're looking at deburring solutions. We're moving from more of a high mix, low volume manufacturing facility to more of a low mix, higher volume, and that brings in new technology. So I'm looking forward to discovering that, as well as interviewing some people at the Creators Lounge and hearing some great stories. And as Scott said, digging into the personal element, behind those journeys.
That's a great point. I mean, the event itself has so many different resources out there. And that is why, 100,000 people are going to come into Chicago to see this
Yeah.
event. So that is wonderful. And I think that that's the reason we're there, those connections to be made, the
Mhm.
real relationships to be built. And I do believe that you're going to see that. And probably even before someone hopefully hears this and says, hey, I can help you with that. I know somebody.
Yeah, that's why I want to throw it out there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that there's a velocity that exists within manufacturing. There's this sort of renaissance that I sense, and I think that the information that is provided by or the content that is provided helps with the consumption and that speed to be able to feel comfortable with it, because here, I mean, we've got to be about education or you're going to be left behind. You've got to just recognize that Mitch and Fabian and the rest are they're pushing the envelope, and they're coming up with new use cases, right? And if you're not involved in that conversation and understanding how the problem is being solved or be a part of that, I mean, you're going to be left behind. So from my perspective, there's a sense of urgency. You better be engaged. You better be a part of it. You better be a part of the conversation and find those trusted individuals, those companies that can help you along with that journey. That to me is exciting, but that's where it's at. That to me is where it's at.
Yeah,
That's such a good point, Scott, because I mean, especially right now, we're in such a unique time. We have government initiatives of bringing back manufacturing into the United States. We have initiatives on how do we transition into a carbon-free future by 2050, and many more and many more. And at the same time, we're also at the cusp of new technologies that we've been talking about for such a long time that are actually and finally ready for prime time. Additive manufacturing, artificial intelligence, robotics, all of those new technologies that were still in the early adopter phase are pushing into mainstream. And my favorite part about especially IMTS, but also other conferences in that space, is that aha moment you see in people's eyes. You know, that, oh wow, I haven't even thought about it that way. And you see their brain just going and really trying to understand, how do I take the next steps? How do I incorporate this cool technology into my company? And yeah, to me, that's definitely worth standing at a booth for 10-12 hours and my feet hurting throughout the show.
I'm really looking forward to that aha moment in the Student Summit Center, because, this year I'm bringing a bus from the high school that I graduated from, and I talked to them about coming to IMTS last year when I did this event, and asked them if I could get a bus to bring them, would they want to come? And they're super excited to be there. So I'm looking forward to that, as well as the Women Make Manufacturing Move event by WIM. I was looking at some of the posts that IMTS was doing about their history and past shows, and they showed one photo where it was just all men in their 70s gear, and they had the big collars. And it's going to be great to see how many women are coming into this sector, and just shaking that up a little bit and actually talking to them and learning, how they got involved with engineering and manufacturing and what's exciting to them. So there's a lot of things going on, especially with the IMTS Creators Lounge. That's brand new this year. So just to hear from other creators and why it's important for them to get the message out about engineering and manufacturing, it's going to be really fun this year. And it's after the pandemic, so everybody's just really excited to get in front of one another and shake hands and give each other hugs instead of talking through the screen. So
that's a really, really good point. And I think it's good for everyone listening to understand that this is an important time. This is the biggest event in North America, next to Consumer Electronics Show. And I think it's a big moment that, over 100,000 people are coming together, over 2,000 exhibitors. And if you're new to IMTS, IMTS in and of itself is literally the physical show. There's a number of elements to it. It's the show. It's like, I think over 60 million pounds of technology and equipment come in to McCormick Place in Chicago. It's September 12th through the 17th. And no single factory in the world has that amount of equipment and technology. So it's amazing. So that's like the physical event. Then there's the IMTS conferences I think you're hearing here. And then there's conferences related to, and there's Hanover Mess. There's all different types of conferences. And then there's special events for students in manufacturing, for women in manufacturing. So there is just so much going on in one place. It's really amazing. And then when you look at the IMTS Plus Creators Lounge, first, well, what is IMTS Plus? IMTS Plus is a digital destination for the manufacturing community to watch, to read, to listen, to learn, and to, you know, and to connect. And it's that entity that we're creating content for, so that as you really look at IMTS, it's really this thing that's a persistent entity, you know, both physically and online. And that's not just 2 years, that's just moving forward. So that's a big thing. And the IMTS Plus Creators Lounge is a place built for creators of original manufacturing content, people with great stories to share those stories. And so the concept here is to say, let's think of us as, you know, we're creators, and there is a place now where we can come and share our stories, and all the way to the point of like thinking of all of us and you, the audience who are creators, as a channel to tell the story of the next wave of the Industrial Revolution. So the big operative question in the IMTS Plus Creators Lounge, there's a studio in there, there's a touchdown area to sit down. It's literally in the South Hall across from Okuma. Like it's in a good spot. Like it's a real place for like this community to know that like AMT really cares about it and wants to bring that into the mix. So I think this is the first of its kind I've seen, at least at this scale. But we're excited about it. So that's what I'm excited about. IMTS. There's just so much.
Yeah, and I think the one thing to note there is that this is new, it's innovative, it's bringing people together, yes, how we have in the past, but also in new ways. One thing for me that stands out is just we're discovering all these different creators that we may not have known in the past too. Just because they created the space for it, then we can come together. And I think you see that a lot. I know with Empowering Women in Industry, I'm really excited to bring, to see some of my women that I've met through that organization there. Allison with WIM, you know, she'll be a speaker, and I look forward to seeing her in action always. And, you know, just bringing those people together who are passionate about manufacturing and the growth there, and the, you know, like you said, that digital technology that's allowing us to grow. I mean, really, that's what it is. It gives us the opportunity to do that. So we could go into that. All of us, I feel like, okay, I heard a little bit there I want to dive into. So hopefully I'll be able to have you individually on the podcast as well. And, you know, for right now, I think the call to action is definitely subscribe to these podcasters channels. Look for us at IMTS, and definitely come by this state of the art, just amazing booth that they have created for creators. That was challenging to say right there. But and let me see if I can remember the booth number. It's booth number 338-600. So hopefully I'll get to see all of you there. And thank you all for coming on here and telling us a little bit about your story today.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.